Hey everybody, Byron Lambert, RosterWatch.com here in Jacksonville. Just took in my second day of Jaguars training camp practices. Another day in full pads at full speed, and boy, I got to tell you, it's a real heater out here for you guys today. Let's start with the good news. The good news is this team is clearly going to make an effort to feature its talented young rookie wide receiver, Laviska Shenault, a player that's frequently participating with the first team, taking reps down around the ever-important red zone, and just frankly a player that physically leaps off the field compared to the rest of the roster out here. Other good news, I mean, despite the incredible depth of talent on this running back depth chart in Jacksonville, one that we admire so much with guys like Devine Ezigbo, Chris Thompson, Raquel Armstead, and even our guy out of Illinois, the rookie, James Robinson, who looks very good out here. It doesn't take long to be reminded that Leonard Fournette is just a different kind of freak, a different kind of beast, a different kind of animal. He looked absolutely explosive and just excellent all around out here. Quickly reminded, something that we've been telling you guys since we attended his pro day in LSU a few years back, is Leonard Fournette is a good pass catcher, and he showed that off again today. But, you know, the bad news is that Chris Thompson definitely going to be very heavily involved. Also looked good. I still think Raquel Armstead, I still think Devine Ezigbo, based on what I saw today, are going to play. I mean, it just makes too much sense. And in a way, it looks like they're keeping Leonard Fournette fresh out here. And I can see that argument, but on the other side, he's the type of guy we really, really like volume for. So I am a little bit nervous, as good as Fournette looked out here. I mean, I overheard the local beat writers saying today, I mean, this is a narrative that we've heard the last couple years, and certainly we've seen Fournette address his conditioning in an attempt to be more durable with the soft tissue injuries during the season. But I mean, you heard the local beat writers today saying that this was far and away the best shape they've ever seen Leonard Fournette in. It makes sense. It's a contract year. I mean, the guy looked super, super explosive out there. And he did look like he could still catch the football very, very well, which, you know, is a big point of contention this offseason as we're trying to figure out where he should be drafted in our fantasy leagues, because he's coming off, you know, the 100-target season. Everybody's expecting that to negatively regress, while others are expecting positive regression for the touchdown equity. But I leave here nervous because Chris Thompson got way more run in the red zone than I would have expected today. So I am a little bit worried about just overall volume when it comes to Fournette, a guy I'd really like to see 20 touches a game for this year. I mean, he's still clearly the lead guy out here, and like I said, I mean, he's just a whole other kind of beast, as good as the other players are out here. But I am getting concerned that he may be an 18-touch per game guy this year, which without big-time goal line and red zone equity is going to be a problem for Fournette. So I'm thinking 18, hopefully 20 touches, maybe 20 touches a game for Fournette this year. The good news, he still looks like an excellent football player, one of the best players on the field. Based on what I see circumstantially, I think we're going to see the volume deteriorate a little bit this year. And then as far as the tight end situation is concerned, I definitely think it is true that we are going to have to put Tyler Eifert on the radar as a streamer this year. I think for all intents and purposes, he'll be the quote-unquote starter. I mean, James O'Shaughnessy still definitely getting some reps in there. But Eifert, you know, again, another guy you'd expect to look good in practice. But surprisingly, after all of his injuries, Tyler Eifert moving very well today, definitely getting some action in the red zone. Looked pretty good with the hands. So I'm certainly not going out of my way to rely on Tyler Eifert as my starting tight end this year. But I do think he's just going to be a fine streamer that could certainly emerge as we go. We know they played some two tight end sets pretty heavily last year in Jacksonville. We'll have to take a look at what it is that Jay Gruden likes to do. I think with the addition of Shenault, it's going to be hard to go two tight end, but they've still got guys like Conley working in there that they like, and then Keelan Cole, a player I'm hearing whispers, even though he's still very much in the mix in this depth chart and looks pretty good out here. He's been a fixture. Hearing it's just going to be tough for this team to keep all those wide receivers, and he's a guy to maybe look out for on a trade. And then as far as Gardner Minshew, I think he looks like he's progressing nicely. Looks like he's, a good or an average NFL quarterback. I don't think he looks like a franchise guy out here, but so far, so good. I've liked what I've seen out here in Jacksonville, and I encourage all of you guys to go to RosterWatch.com, check out the ultimate draft cheat sheet. It's everything we know contained in one single simple sheet of paper. The only draft tool you'll need this year for the best draft you've ever had, the ultimate draft cheat sheet at RosterWatch.com.